This is,
How long you lived here? 30 years or so, give or take? No,
it's only
25?
three.
Attention to this.
Anyway, that, nobody found. That's yes, that's
And Lucia, who takes the minutes.
My neighbor.
Lucia,
Yes.
Yes,
Lucia
that's
takes the
My
minutes.
neighbor, and she has such cute dogs.
And she takes the minutes in all the boards.
I do.
I think every board.
Okay, so we saw your email,
Yeah,
and that was about paying, the,
whoever runs the Winhall Community Arts Center.
right, okay. Why don't you give us a brief thing on it? I mean, we saw your email.
You saw the email.
But then it's out to the public because it's being
Right,
paid.
right.
So go ahead.
So, from where I'm sitting, ever since last town meeting, when we voted to pay someone from Londonderry.
Oh, that's what I thought you meant. It wasn't clear, but that's what I thought.
Yeah, that's where I was going from that.
Yeah.
That was not
Well,
my
we did-
focus of the letter, but.
Yeah, we voted to contribute the town's share to to the multi-share rec committee that's going
Which
on.
we don't
Right.
know how it's.
And we still don't even know how that's going, but yeah.
That's a little frightening to me, so I was a little afraid.
Well, because it's Londonderry's in charge of that really.
But,
We're
but
just
we should know what the
tangentially.
stats are from what we're getting out of that deal.
Well, so far
By the
nothing.
time town meeting happens, I'm sure there are gonna be some
Hopefully.
questions about that, yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Well, we have a representative.
Yeah.
Who goes to those meetings.
But I don't think that
But
they've
just
gotten
knowing
very
what the
far.
numbers are, like how many
Right.
kids are served and how,
I don't
how
think it's-
effective
it's
it
not-
was.
it's not-
I don't
up
think
and
it's,
running.
I don't even think they've hired anyone
No, they
yet.
haven't hired anyone.
No, they have an application out for whoever wants to be that person, and we
We
got.
haven't
Okay,
given money
let's,
yet.
let's not get
Yeah,
into that
I don't wanna
subject.
get into that,
Go,
but
go,
that
go.
is-
that's not my purpose. My purpose is to talk about creating some kind of a base salary
Either a
for-
stipend or-
a stipend or a salary for this, for whoever is running that, because it runs year-round. And so many people from not just our community in Winhall, but surrounding communities come.
It covers quite a large area.
Yes, it does, it's huge. And the fact that, I know that you guys told me that the building itself is paid for by the town.
Well, we
by you
own the
guys.
building.
We own the building.
We
It's a
own the
town.
building and we pay for all the maintenance things that
Yeah.
need to be.
Yeah.
Well, I believe we pay for the heat
Still-
and
The
lights
heat
and-
and all.
Yeah, and the alarm
plowing
system,
and all that stuff,
and the
yeah.
elevator that has to get, quite a
Inspected
bit
and all that
quite a
stuff.
bit of money.
Right, so it's owned by the town of Winhall. But if there wasn't the person running it, there would be nothing in it.
Right, and there's a concern, because at some point, I mean, I've always said to the law, I mean, we don't have a replacement law. I mean, everybody's replaceable.
That's, well, okay,
Everyone's
that's the point.
replaceable, but we don't have a replacement
That's
law.
correct.
Unless you're stepping up for that.
But that's the point. But if there was always a position there for that person to, like a coordinator, somebody.
Right, like the librarian, and that's what I was trying to say.
Right.
So we don't pay the librarian.
Who does?
The library, they raise money.
The problem is.
They raise money.
We raised our budget to them last year, I believe.
Well, we give them 26.2 or something.
Which was to help cover their librarian, because it wasn't just that's what they needed to run the
No,
organization.
they have had that
Yes.
much, at least since I've been on the board in 2018.
Right.
They've had $25,000.
Right, what we
Yes.
didn't do is, you mentioned that you thought we matched it, and in the budget that we have right now, we did not match it.
We did. We matched the
Oh, well,
community
then maybe I was
center.
looking at an older
Good.
one.
It's not good.
So,
So tell me what that means.
I
So,
must have looked
okay,
at an
so
older
this
one.
year, the budget request, so what it is because they are a nonprofit, they go through appropriations, like Meals on Wheels,
Right.
or, and so the library is that way too. We give them, as a town, $26,500 was the budget amount last year for the library. We put the same thing in against this year. We asked that the Community Arts Center this year get 26
So
to
last year I did
50.
not get that.
No.
Oh, no, they got like $7 grand or something.
For one thing, it was in a
700.
transit.
More than I
But every
transit.
nonprofit has a coordinator leader to it, like a manager, somebody, every Meals on Wheels has somebody there
Yeah,
running it.
the neighborhood
Right.
connections, I mean, everybody does.
Right, so
But
that's a
they're
paid
not-
position.
But they're not
They're not paid by the
hired by the
towns.
town.
They raise
It's a
their own money.
different- So like the librarian isn't a town employee,
Now,
so,
isn't the Community Arts Center a 501c3?
Yes.
They are.
Because then they can raise money.
That's what
Right,
she
and
did
that's
there.
the point.
All right,
That's why I said, write a big check, she'll be very happy.
okay, just a minute.
If I
Well,
had-
we've got a question in the back.
So in your budget that's online, you did not put in Julie's request, it's still at 12.7, unless there's a new one that's out there since I printed this last week.
It probably got updated. What are you looking at there, Julie? I don't have mine with me.
it's the, it's the
Yeah, but what
one
is it?
from tonight.
And it says 12.6?
Okay, so that's,
It's 26,
I mean, 26,
250.
yeah,
I said
26.
500, I misspoke,
Right, no,
it's
same number.
26,250.
So
so
we have-
that one's not on our website yet then,
Well, it might be now, I don't know. Is it up there?
I didn't put it up tonight, no.
okay.
All right, so this is a 26.
So we are planning on, if we can hold all the appropriations, because there's increases this year in everything's
Oh,
gone
yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah. You don't
The only
wanna
thing that
see-
hasn't gone up is.
My
since-
salary.
Yeah, tell me about it.
You don't want to see our current, right now in this budget, tax rate. You don't want to see it. You would not be happy. No one will be happy. It is
But it's not
incredibly-
going to stay at
No,
that.
we're having our meetings and we're gonna go, but when we do that, we cut stuff.
Right, but going back to this, so it would be up to that organization to create that position and pay for it.
And come to us
Yes.
if they want more.
If they wanted more funds for it,
money.
but they also have, that's the whole point, why Laura she paid to become a 501c3, she went through the whole process, so that she could raise money, and then, and not-for-profits, 501c, doesn't mean you can't make money and hire, you always have
Right,
somebody
you need
being an
somebody to run
administrator.
it.
Right,
So that it's
So-
always there.
So that's
Wow.
sort of a, within the organization situation that we are not in control of.
I see.
They are their own, we provide a facility, and we make sure it's heated, and we make sure it's
That's
plowed.
very nice.
And well, you're helping with that, I assume.
Oh, well, in my own little way.
Well, but you know what I mean.
Well,
I mean-
Matthew is.
I mean, the town is
Yes,
paying to
my tax-
have that
my tax
facility
money
there.
helps.
And it's a great service to the town
It
and its
is.
county. I mean, we had Thanksgiving dinner down there on Thanksgiving, there were over 30 people there.
Yeah, that's
It
amazing.
was
That's amazing.
fantastic. So it's a great thing, but for that situation to happen, that's within the board of the Winhall Community Arts Center. We can't create a position, and say, okay, you get paid, because we're not in control of their board. We are providing the building, this group is running it.
Okay.
So I guess if you want to try to get someone paid, you have to go and help with that board and say, gee, I think we should do something. We can't make that decision. Am I correct in what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna try to up what we're giving to the Community Arts Center, okay? So that there's more money there, and hopefully there is fundraising going on that will help their overall, their supplies, et cetera. But we can't say, okay, you're gonna get paid now. We can't do that. We're not in charge of that.
Right, I see that.
Okay.
I wasn't clear how that.
No,
was
it's
all set.
okay, you didn't know, so you asked.
Yeah,
But
right.
now you know, and we went around the loop a little bit here, but that's the way it works, okay?
All right, I was wondering, because I know that nonprofits can have employees.
Right, no, and that's what,
Right.
hopefully with more money, Laura can either pay herself or hire someone or do something.
But you may
But
have
that's up to the board.
I mean,
of-
we don't even need to look also at the library and the community center, that's a good example. You can take a look at the fire department, which has been running for like 50 years or more.
more than that.
More than
I've
that.
only been a member for 54.
That building for 40 years,
Yeah,
right?
I've only been a member for 54.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that little, I'm not talking about the little.
Fire-
So does anybody get paid there?
They get little stipends.
We get a stipend,
Which is, again, and those guys,
Who's the fire chief?
Steve Avison.
right now, and he doesn't get a salary, I'm just
He
saying.
doesn't, huh?
No.
No.
So I'm just saying, as far as
But-
people being important to the community, the fire department is, significantly at least as important
Well,
as the art
essential,
center in
yeah.
a different way, but
Yeah.
similarly as important. And we don't, it's up to them if they wanted to try to, they do fundraise, actually, my recollection when I was on it, which was 35 years ago, was like, they got some significant money sitting in the booty.
We just spent a lot of
Oh,
money.
you be buying trucks and stuff.
Well,
and
no,
equipment.
no,
You
no,
gotta keep up
that,
with-
We buy the
we're
trucks.
fortunate, the town owns
equipment.
trucks and buys the trucks. We just spent $80,000 on new air packs.
Air packs, that's what they said,
Because,
equipment.
because we
They have
have
to be
10,
upgraded.
and the problem is some of them were 25 years old.
Yeah, they have to be,
And-
that's life threatening.
And we just, we made we bit the bullet and we bought them so that we had all up to date, and hopefully, we don't want anyone to not come home. And hopefully, we won't have that situation. But so we've spent and it costs like $4,000 to outfit a new firefighter now. Tim can attest to that, he's a member now. And by the time we buy a man turnout gear and boots and helmet and gloves and all that, it's over $4,000.
Wow.
So, but anyways, we got off the
Right,
subject.
I mean, my point was that they don't, my point was that as great as those guys are and have been for a long time, we don't salary them, they're not they could decide to salary, I guess,
Well,
and try to figure.
It's gonna, hopefully it'll be another 10 or 15 years
At some
before
point, it
comes to
should
that.
be a
But
real paid
eventually, it's
fire
gonna have to be,
department,
which is
because
why we're talking,
We don't even have.
We
So
have-
eventually, all of these things will become like salaried positions?
Well,
for
the fire department might be a paid fire department, because you can't get
Some-
people to do it, and the volunteer thing only goes.
Ah.
I mean, I'm 68 years old, Steve is 62, okay? We've got some other
Steve,
members that are
no.
over, we've got some other members that are over 70 years old. So, and it's hard for a young person to come and live in this town because they can't afford to buy a house here anymore. And not everyone can come and put in the amount of time that it takes to do this stuff. So eventually, we will be going to a paid department. I mean, I don't know if we'll see it in my lifetime, but it's gonna be down the
It's
road.
kind of inevitable, yeah.
Which is huge
Although around us, they're still all volunteers,
at this time, at this
Any,
time.
we get paid Springfield, is Chester, they have beautiful.
Um,
They have a gorgeous.
It's mostly the bigger towns that like Brattleboro, Springfield,
Right.
Bennington, but it's
I
gonna,
mean, we
it's
have
gonna
a
happen.
paid, we have a paid police department, we do
Right.
pay them, they're all
And-
salaried,
and-
they're not volunteer.
And some of them also have joined our fire department, because some of them are firefighters in their off time, so some of those will come to our fire.
And actually, they merged in the rescue into
Yep.
our,
So that's where maybe we're heading, where
Oh,
all these
in,
places in our town that are
or
now.
would it be for the library and.
The librarian
and
should
the
be
community
a-
center, because those function the way they are. I mean, like I said, they might come back.
Well, they function with a limp.
Yeah,
I don't know, the only thing, it gets me a little bit, so I've gone to the, there's no such thing as a free lunch, well, there is. It's on the third Thursday of every month. And I've
And if
gone,
that wasn't there, you wouldn't be getting it.
I've gone semi-regularly, yeah, but my point was that, and again, I mean, everybody makes their own choices. The people that go to that, many of them, most of them, not me, but most of them are retired, and I don't believe, it could be wrong, but I don't believe they're they're talking about, all the cruises that they've been going on, and, so they could,
it's an
That's
outing,
not
it's a
the
social
point.
outing.
it's about, no, my
But
point is
that's
that
not
that
the
reason it's a
point.
501c3 is because they can raise money, and so my point was that the people that are enjoying it and getting the benefit of it, on a regular basis, and if they have the wherewithal, I mean, maybe Laura needs to reach out more. I don't know how much she's done, I have no idea what their accounting or books are, we don't see that. But, I don't think a significant number of those people would not have a problem. I don't think they would have a problem supporting them, other than the little box where you might stick $5 in, when you walk in the door. I think, I could be totally wrong, but I think, a lot of those people are, very much appreciate, like you do, what's out there and what's being provided.
It's a social outing for some, I mean,
It's incredibly good.
they
Some
see-
people do not
I
have.
work all the time and I can't
Yeah.
take advantage of
Yeah, well,
all
I
of
li-
it,
I-
but I know how much it means to a lot of
Oh,
people
yeah.
that do use it.
I live in a
And that's where I'm coming from.
Right, I live in a
It's not for
flexible
me.
prison, so I do get to go there sometimes, because my flexible prison lets me.
Yeah, you're.
I work
across the street.
24/7, but I don't work 24/7, that's how I live. And it has been for 37 years, so it's not about to change now.
Right.
So I hope that explains some of
Is
it,
what
so
it
we
is.
really aren't in control of what they do, other than the fact
At the current time.
Right, and I don't foresee that we will we will want to take over the reins of that. We got enough projects going on.
Oh, yeah, I understand that.
Without, so I think if you get involved with the board there and say, hey, you know, we ought to be paying somebody and see how it goes from there.
Gotta have-
I really think that some people there would contribute more than, you know, I'm sponsoring the luncheon this week, you know?
Right,
All
I
right,
also
maybe I'll
think
come
that
just so I can
it's
get some of
worth
your.
Have Barbara have your
saying
stuff.
to people,
I've seen her there.
nobody's paid, right? So like when I was at a meeting there, I can't even remember about what, nobody knew that, you know, who was there, some new people were in town.
But that's what I'm saying, I think
So it
just
needs
getting
to
the word
happen
out, there would be
at
more
their-
people,
Okay.
Okay.
that's my point, I think there'd be more
Yeah.
people
And
actually supporting
it's also
it.
hard for the person that runs it 24/7 to ask for that.
Well, that's why you
Right?
should go and.
Well, I mean, she has a
My big
website.
mouth will go in there.
Well, no, but she's,
Support is
you can
helpful
go
for
and
sure.
say, hey, what are we
It's
gonna?
time.
Yeah, so
As I said in the
But-
letter, it's about damn time.
Yeah.
I hope that
my
explains
favorites.
more of the situation so you know how it works, okay?
Okay?
But thank you for your
No.
input.
Thank you for
Okay.
filling me in and educating
Yes.
me.
Okay, good.
I
And
appreciate
try not to
it.
be
Thank you.
scared when you see your tax bill, because it's nothing compared to what it'll be when the reassessment comes through.
Well,
Oh,
that
stop putting fear in my bones.
It's a reality check, we're having a
Good thing I still
reassessment,
work
it's
when my
starting,
husband's retired.
it's starting in 2024.
should, good night.
I
Okay.
Are
Are there any more just public comments? Or
I'd
maybe-
like to just say.
Yes, sir.
I know you guys tonight are looking at appointing someone to the tax collector
Yes.
position.
Right.
And what I have to say might not really necessarily be really popular with some of the people that are here, and it's nothing personal. But I came a couple of years ago and talked to you guys, and my concern is that there's a lot of money. The grand list has changed from the way it used to be. There's just we have a huge grand list, and there's a lot of money at stake. And I have always maintained that that money that's collected for, any of the penalties belongs to the town, because in some years it's a significant amount of money. Stratton in 2000 changed, and they went, the head lister collects it, or Candy does, I don't know if she's the head lister. She collects the money, so I'm just here to ask you guys to give it serious consideration. I mean, like, we go to town meetings sometimes, and we fight over whether or not we should spend $5,000.
$500.
$500.
$500 we've spent hours on.
And you know, you can back into the money. I mean, there's some.
No, this
when
is
it's-
60 to 80 grand.
Yeah, the 60 to 80 grand. It's a lot of money, and I'm just saying it's nothing personal.
So just
Against anybody, and it wasn't personal against Kate when it came to you guys last time. And you guys told me at the time that we want to kind of leave it the way it is because, out of respect for Kate, she's been here for a long time. We don't want to cut her off, but I think we're at a perfect crossroad right now where you guys should seriously consider bringing that money back to the town where I believe it belongs.
So,
I was gonna say, just to say for a second, so
you want to talk first?
yeah, because I got this from a few other people in
Okay.
town in the last 2 weeks or so. And first I thought, well, I don't know, but then I was reminded what you just said, that we actually said, like, let's just wait till Kate dies before we address this issue. And that so many people with our taxes being so high, and this new rate coming, it's not set yet, but we already see the writing on the wall. And like so many people have said, like, why isn't that money going to reduce everyone's tax?
What's it gonna cost us to hire somebody to do this job?
Well, so I found a lot of different things. I went to a lot of different towns. I went to Stratton, I went to Londonderry, I went to Jamaica, I went to Peru, and every town does it somewhat different. Most of them are appointed. I then went to VLCT and got their lists of all the
I
towns.
tried to get it, I couldn't.
Yeah, now it's in a lockdown portal. You have to have access to it. But, and there's actually another place where.
Did you get the data?
Yeah,
How many towns?
so it's not as many, there were two sets of data. So on one of the reportings where they report everybody's salary, it's only the towns that report.
Okay.
So-
Yeah, so you wouldn't get it.
So you don't get a full, 250, whatever it is, clerks, towns.
There aren't 251 clerks.
To
There are 251 towns,
Towns.
some are boroughs and some are gores.
Well,
and-
our Gorge, Langrove has a, but anyway, that's,
What's the number of town clerks in Vermont?
how many towns, Or
251, I believe.
No, it can't be, because some towns don't,
Don't have a clerk.
some
Well, they call it
are,
251 club.
I know, but there are
Right.
251 towns or
Towns.
gores, but there aren't.
Well,
some-
whatever,
some-
so
whatever.
let's say 251 just for the
Let's say
hell of it.
240.
So I mean, so a majority of them are appointed, but there are some that are still on the elected and still.
It's a small percentage from what I
And then on the
understand.
appointed, just so you understand, because I'm bringing it up, I don't think it's executive session part, I think it should be out on the tape. So a majority of those, the towns I spoke to all do different things. Like, you know, some just do it, like, some do a salary, so then you're paying a salary and you're paying, you know, everything else on top of that, you know, all the withholdings and the federal and the state and all of that. Some do, and you're gonna do that even if you do, some instead of the 8%, do 1%.
That's in the statute,
What?
the 1% to town managers, it's in the statute.
Or
It's in the
1% to
statute. I
town?
think if they changed it in
Well, we're not-
2015, you guys can look it up.
Well, we're not going for town manager, but.
No, but that was in the statute when they changed it, that they paid 1%. But like, so Stratton, just for instance, Candy is a lister,
Right,
and she handles that. I talked to Kent, she gets paid a stipend, she gets paid for all the hours that she puts into that,
right.
and maybe a stipend on top of that.
So that's what I was gonna say, some are like, in Jamaica, Sarah Weiswald is the town clerk, the treasurer, and the delinquent tax collector, and she's appointed. And all of her positions are hourly. She's not salaried at all, I mean, they still take it out, but it's hourly. So it's like what Doug does. She-
Now hourly.
She puts in her
I'll get you
hourly,
in just a second, Beth.
she puts in her hourly, you know, what she wants, you know, how many hours she worked. And basically, she's there, the hours the clerk's office are open. So she puts in those hours and she gets paid on that. Other towns have said, yeah, 1%, some have been, like, Londonderry was 3% when they switched over. They changed it to 5% because I guess it wasn't enough at the time. Something happened, so
It's a
they're.
dedicated position now.
So they, well, it's still an appointed thing. So, I mean, it's, you know, there's a lot of different ways to do this. I mean, right now, we're just dealing with the short period before the
Yeah,
election.
you have to appoint somebody.
But the other thing, and this is, again, this is part of the, you know, so I went to the LCT site, and so we as a municipality, so I kept hearing, and I think we were just all under some misconception, that we needed to create a charter, and then we needed to, you know, put this in the charter in order to change from elected to appointed. That's not true at all. All we have to do is put an article, we do have to go to town, and they could turn it down, so we would have to, if we want to do this, to make it appointed all the time, we just have to, it says, shall the voters authorize the select board to appoint a collector of delinquent taxes pursuant to 17 VSA 2651 DA, which is right here, which says that we
Okay,
can
just a minute.
appoint a
Beth,
collector.
you had something?
So I just had about the salary that, if the town wishes to compensate the collector of delinquent taxes with a salary or hourly rate, it may vote to do so at an annual or special town meeting, and that's 24 VSA 1530. So it has to go to the voters, the select board can't do it, but they can put an article on. The other thing, if you guys choose to do an article, and I posed this question to Will Senning, Director of Elections, is how do we handle it if it's voted down?
Oh, I
Now we
talked to
have a-
VLCT,
we
you
have a
simultaneously have to take petitions in case it's voted down, and then if we vote it in, then the election results are nothing.
Right,
But we have to do it, rather than have a special election
right.
afterwards, which would
Right.
be a, so, yes, we did find that out, that's what I was asking.
So, you're quoting a different,
This is right out of the delinquent tax collector
okay,
collection manual, which I was reading for a whole different purpose today, but I came across it and knew it was in here, so I just
Okay.
thought I'd let you guys know that. And that was updated in 23.
Okay.
Spring.
all right.
So however you guys get there, I just wanted
Yeah,
to voice, I just wanted to voice my
I'm
opinion.
not sure, we've never had to appoint a delinquent tax collector, at least
It's pretty easy, I'll do it for you right now. You're pointing.
But I'm saying we've never had to do this because we either someone has resigned or whatever, now someone has died. in
Sure, and I'm
office.
not here to speak to the procedure, I just wanted to voice
Yeah,
my
well,
opinion.
I appreciate
I
that.
think if we're gonna make a change, now makes the most sense.
Well, we have to talk about that.
Yeah, you guys can
We
do whatever you want.
we have, I'm sure this is gonna be a lengthy discussion.
Thank you
I told my wife
thank
not
you
to-
for
not-
hearing me.
I told my wife not to
Thank
have
you
supper
for
ready for me
coming.
at normal time.
I got my pizza before the meeting,
Did you?
Oh, man,
Ella.
I should've done that too.
because they'll be closed at 8.
Kind of piggybacking on that though, so we have been running that the delinquent tax collector gets 8%.
We
So-
have for years and years.
That's the way it's been. And since Kate's passing, Debbie has been handling all of that. So I think no matter what happens tonight or in the future, but at least from Kate's passing until whenever you guys make a decision, Debbie's entitled to that 8% that she's collected and deposited.
I think absolutely, you
Oh,
have to do that.
I don't think there's
Yeah.
any doubt about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that I think legally, probably any money that was collected up until Kate's death, should,
Kate's entitled to
her
that.
estate is entitled to that money.
But since her
And-
passing and
yeah.
until now, that.
No, I agree.
belongs to
I
them.
Because
think
you
that
can't
that's,
change now.
No.
You know, you
Yeah.
can't change without the votes.
but I think that that's just got to be done, and we'll deal with that as we go along. But yes, I understand that, and yes, and from the time that Kate died, you and Debbie have been fulfilling the role as best you can.
I have just been basically telling people what it was. Debbie's actually been the one depositing all the checks and
Okay.
been handling the most of it,
Okay.
so.
And how's that been going?
Been going good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just depositing and they're not reflected in NIMRIC at all, so I'm just.
Yeah, oh, that was the other thing I found out when talking to delinquent tax collectors in town, and then I found out that we actually do have, and I guess use that system. You know, it's not as, so there's a delinquent tax collector module. I thought everything was Kate on paper. I thought she just had boxes, and she does apparently have boxes with files, and does keep a hard copy set so she can see it that way, but the system itself generates everything.
We have the technology.
And she was using it. She didn't.
Oh, she was?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
This is generated, I asked Lisa, and she was able to print it out for me,
Okay.
and this is,
Oh, that's what you emailed us.
yeah, she emailed a copy, so, you know, I mean, right now, just for yucks, we're at $806,088, so that's, you know.
That's all the years combined.
Right, but that's the delinquent taxes, so in theory, that's, you know, 60.
That's what's still owed?
Yeah, that's delinquent, so that's 60, I have no idea what's I mean, I don't know if maybe somebody has come in on this and it's just
Yeah,
not, that's another thing, in almost every town I go to, and I'm not sure why we don't do this, but whoever takes this over, like, every town I go to, you know, when I wanna know if taxes are paid, I'll ask, you know, at this point, Al, he'll give me a tax bill, he'll look it up, I'm not even sure where you look it up, maybe you
I
look
look it up on the tax admin module.
You do?
And the other thing is too, that we used to always get a printout of that. Kay would update that and it would be in the front of the grand list book.
Well, that's what I'm saying, in every town I go to, it's in the front, and when somebody pays, like,
We cross it off.
they highlight it in yellow, but sure.
Well, but she would, back in the day, I don't know, I think it was since COVID essentially that's basically stopped, but she would print us off one of those like every month to update us.
Right, that's how it should be.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I agree.
Or print it up and crossed out with maybe a date and when it was paid, or print it off again each month. And most towns do that, so it's funny, I never realized that wasn't happening here,
It would have
and
to.
I'm here all the time.
It would have to be printed every month because there was a monthly interest.
Right,
So
right,
as soon,
right.
I think it was, correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, when I'm
I believe
doing-
It was when that 1.5% was added on, she would print it off.
Yeah, yeah, when you're doing title work, you just wanna know if it's delinquent or not, and then you do wanna know the actual amount with interest, so, you
Yeah.
know, either way.
And that original one of who's delinquent as of October 12th, that actually goes into the grand list that's stored forever. That's part of that original grand list that is stored forever, which is what I pulled out for you today and was able to show you that those reports were in there.
But it wasn't this,
Well, that's.
it was something
because
similar,
that's-
it was.
Because it's just a year.
Right, and
That's
this
the-
has the interest and penalty on it too, which
Right.
one report had and one didn't or
Yes,
something.
but that's up to the delinquent tax collector what they give me. I can't demand from them
And then looking through the statutes, it's logical, I just hadn't really thought about it, but like when we collect money on delinquent taxes, did we already pay the state or we owe the state?
You've already paid the state.
You already paid
Oh, we
this.
paid the state back when we paid the state when we sent them a giant check.
Yeah, because we don't want to be delinquent,
So what?
because we don't want to be.
Right, so that's
No,
not
and
us.
then we're paying a delinquent tax collector for money that we already paid.
That we paid the state for,
We
and
paid
we
the state,
paid on.
which is the majority of the tax bill.
Right, well, this is actually a pretty big number right now. You know, so that was my thought, was that I learned a lot in the last few weeks that, I mean, it's not as, you know, it's not as cumbersome a job as I thought it was originally. I'm not interested in the job, by the way, I didn't put an application in, although I had previously thought about it.
You had talked about it.
Yeah, but I have no interest in it. But it is a lot easier in a sense than I thought, because the module is easy to run.
Okay. And it's in our system, it's just.
We already
it
have
has
it,
to
we don't have to buy it,
has
it's
to have
already been in
different
use,
input.
Kate's been keeping it basically current, I mean,
Did either of you talk to any towns about how much time and labor that position takes for the person?
No, but you guys, you can, I mean, the easiest thing to do is just call Kent. They switched over in 2000 and Candy, and you could talk to Candy or Kent, or he's an open book.
yeah, I didn't ask Candy what she gets, you're saying it's
Kent will tell you.
it's a stipend or it's hourly or something?
I think he told me it was hourly.
I think hourly makes sense as long as you trust the person that we appoint, you know, and I don't see any reason not to.
VLCT actually has a book of all wages and salaries in
Yeah,
it
but-
if the town chooses to participate. Ours is not listed
It's
in
not
there.
this year, right?
But there, you can get that whole printout of
Yeah, I have
every
it, but it
single
was-
town for every single job.
Yeah, but it's not, I have it, and it was only a few, it wasn't a lot.
Yeah, I looked for it. They wouldn't give it to me.
It was a pretty big list last year, so I'm not sure if they just haven't updated it.
Well, I got it, but it was like let me find it. It was, I mean, it doesn't matter so much, but it really wasn't, we were not participating, and it was not as much participation as we thought.
I mean, I guess I would can anyone speak to the town, like us, about why it would benefit us to keep it as an elected position?
Well, the voters would have to change it.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is if,
We have to make a recommendation.
Right.
Which way to go. I mean, we have to have a
exactly,
consensus, say, listen, we feel this is the way to do it, and then we have to present it to the
well, and
people.
also if we have to appoint someone,
Oh, we have to
do
appoint
they,
someone before.
right, but would one of y'all even want it if the parameters changed after that, you
Yeah.
know? Like,
Oh, this is gonna be a lengthy discussion, this isn't a 15-minute discussion.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
It wasn't
No, we
just you,
weren't
Tim, it
expecting-
was not just you,
No, I know it wasn't.
just so you
So
know.
right now, you would appoint someone until March.
Mhm.
That position would, depending on what you do with your articles, but that position would still be on the ballot. And it would be a one-year position because Kate has 1 year left of her term. She actually expired in 2025. So it would only be listed as a one-year term on this March.
So, would we have to stay, all right, and I'm just devil's advocate, would we have to stay with that program until 2025?
That, I can't answer that off
You
the
have to
top of
figure
my
that
head.
out.
Yeah, I don't know.
You have to figure that out. Well, part of what you gotta figure out now.
Pull out another year.
But yeah, so it's always the remainder of the term.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, we got a big decision to make here shortly. We've never had to do it before, but, okay. Thank you for your time. Is there
Yes,
anything
thank
else? I mean,
you.
you've expressed your.
No.
And I understand, I mean, and you've had several people talk to you about it, you said this week, Bill, last couple of weeks.
Yeah, and this municipal, the current 2023 VLCT municipal compensation report, it deals with 184 towns.
Oh, it's quite a few.
It's not bad out of 250.
Does it show delinquent tax collector?
Oh, it says everything.
Yeah, but what does it say for delinquent tax collector? That's what we're talking about.
Well, I
We're
mean,
not
it has-
talking about select board.
What's the ratio?
What town do you want to know?
Well, it doesn't show a range?
It actually,
right,
it shows every town, all the compensation that was reported for every town, and There's an Excel spreadsheet, I can open it.
Well, so the question, Bill, is how many people are appointed versus,
So when I added it up the other day, out of that 184, there were about 58 that were at the 8%, I believe.
is that right? That's way higher than I imagined.
Yeah, no, it was higher than I thought too.
That's at 8% going to the delinquent tax collector, or
Yeah.
appointed and 8% going to the town?
No, that's the 8% tax.
50 out of 160, 1/3, basically.
Yeah, but the
Yes.
the other thing was that, like I said, various towns do different things. You can be appointed, and there's, you know, some people. This spreadsheet's not showing. That's bizarre.
Well, I still
You-
personally think it makes sense, even if it's appointed, for there to be a percentage that, I mean, lower than 8%, but still something.
Oh, we
As
have to
an
pay
ins-
someone
Well, I mean,
to
but
do
in
the job. I mean,
addition-
this isn't something we're gonna do out of the goodness of their heart.
No, but in addition to a stipend, a percent, you know, whatever.
Well, like I said, different
voters-
towns do different. I'd like to know. I didn't ask Tina in Londonderry why. So she was. They switched over like last year.
Flipped over from what?
They switched over from elected to appointed, and with this simple vote at their town meeting, and she was getting 3%, and the other 5% was going to the town. When I spoke to her, she said, "But this year they changed me." And I didn't ask her why. It's silly. I should have. Well, you know, Tina. I don't know why.
Is that her only compensation?
Well, she's also town treasurer, and she must be paid for that too.
Yeah, sure.
You know, that's probably regular salary, but on this, so she was getting 3% of it, and then they switched it to 5%. So I'd like to ask her, actually, I didn't, I wasn't there for that, but it all came up.
People should definitely be paid for their time,
absolutely.
Oh,
absolutely.
that's
right.
Yeah.
But that, you know, but the hourly thing is kind of interesting, because there's some reality to it, you know?
Well, because it differs every year.
Right, it could be more or less, and,
It can't
Well,
really be a base salary.
it may, I mean, this is purely speculation. It may be a portion of the percentage and hourly
well,
figured
that's
into
what
it too.
that's what
Well,
you
yeah.
just said.
I know,
Like,
but
okay.
I didn't think you were listening, that's why I repeated it.
I tricked you again.
So it may have to be a combination of both. It may be that we split the thing or whatever, I don't know. I'm not sure how it's gonna sugar out. We haven't gotten to that point yet, and
So just so you know, it's just for interest's sake, because it's kind of interesting. So this is like, here's Andover.
you think I can read that from here? I can't read it with glasses on
Okay.
hardly, you got it so small. Let's put it up on the big screen so you
Here,
can see
we
it.
could do that.
Yeah, just keep going.
Here's, I'm just saying, so just in general, so here's the town of Andover, right? So there's like whatever, 8, 10 slots. It breaks out every position and what they're being paid.
So what's the?
So we should chop some of our other positions down based on these other towns, that's all I'm saying.
See where I started?
Could you email me that link?
You want I can just email you this,
That would be
the
perfect.
spreadsheet?
Yep, that'd be
Yeah,
great.
I'll send you the spreadsheet.
It's the same
Would
report
you
you were
send it
talking
to me?
about.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, but I
You
have
want it
last
stored?
yours.
Yeah.
No,
tried
I
to
don't
get
want
into
any
it, and I
emails.
tried to
I
get
don't
into
get
the
any
portal,
emails.
they wouldn't give it to me because they said it wasn't in the purview of a JP.
Oh, really?
Well, now you have to be, yeah, that whole portal thing, it's just,
I can get into the portal,
Oh.
that's no problem, but I don't have access to that.
how,
It should be public information.
That's what I
share.
said, the attorney sent me a
Yeah.
note saying that it was none of
Sorry.
their business, basically.
send a copy.
In other words,
email,
Yeah, exactly.
attach.
okay, anyways,
Okay.
okay,
Who am I sending this to?
That's
Just you two?
okay.
Town clerk.
So I think we've
I just write.
done all we can for that right now.
Win clerk.
So
Win
are
clerk.
we going to,
And Julie. So we should probably, well, do we want to, so, I mean, I know we said we might go into executive session, I'm just not exactly.
so we have 3
sure.
people who have applied for the job.
Right,
So, and our next item, which we've been in for a while, is delinquent tax collector position discussion and interviews.
so do we want to hear from them each in executive session?
I think
Because
that-
it's private-y kind of stuff?
I think so. I think we should
Okay.
have each one of them separate.
And then we stay in executive session, have some deliberations and decide what the heck we're doing.
Right,
Yes.
and, or not what we're doing. I mean, I don't know that we're gonna be able to make the decision. It's become more complex. I thought it was easier than what it was, but it isn't. So we may not be able to come to a conclusion tonight, but we have to at least, we asked the people to be here tonight, and they're here, who have submitted a resume, and I think that we should meet with them out of respect for them, and then we will have to talk about it for a little while. There isn't much else on the,
There's a
Stuff.
lot
what,
on the agenda.
not really, Lucia, I mean,
Marcel's planning on coming in.
Yeah,
well,
that sounds
I'm
funny, isn't it?
sorry, but that's.
Well, we'll deal with it as.
We'll deal with them when we can, but it's just, yeah, I mean,
Were you
I,
able to get, did you get, the confidential email from Marcel?
And that will have to be in
I-
executive session
I did.
also.
I maybe,
Okay.
should I send it to your other address?
Sure.
It's voluminous. Do you want it? I mean, at least at the next meeting you could discuss it with him, you really need to see it
yeah,
before.
I haven't seen it. All right, so anyways, I think that we should stop, and go into executive session, see each person individually, out of respect for them. They came, that we asked them to come to the meeting, and we should talk to them, and then we will have to deliberate it more, whether it be tonight or in a different meeting, but
Yeah, he said it to Winhall.org, that's why you didn't get it.
Yeah, you guys have a copy of the new budget, we're gonna be going over that later, I'm assuming?
I guess.
The updated budget?
I guess.
While we're in executive session, could one of us grab that and make some copies?
Yeah,
Sure.
no reason not to. I mean, we're really, the only thing with the budget is that we're probably not going over this very much. The actual budget meetings, as I think, I think you know, is
16th.
Saturday the
Saturday,
16th, but you're certainly willing to do.
Because
I mean, this
this,
should be up on the website, or will be.
I can do it now while I.
this is like
Which way do you want it?
wish
You want it up on the website? She can
Well, I
do-
So why don't you give it
I
to
can't look
them?
at the website right now.
Yeah, you wanna go out and run a copy? Here, run a copy.
I mean, I think my
One Tim
fear
copy,
is
too.
that this, because it
Thank you,
has
Tim.
all
Thank you,
the
Scott.
wish list
Oh, yeah, it's
stuff,
huge.
there's some scary
Huge.
numbers
Well,
on here.
Oh, yeah, this is.
Right, but it says draft budget on the website, so like
Right.
I printed it off for somebody today and I've had to now reach out to them and say that that's not
Not
Yeah,
the.
That's not valid.
Right.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Well, nothing's bad.
Well,
Right.
no, but
Changes every
just,
day.
just reviewing it, you know,
Right.
like I have reviewed it and highlighted stuff, and that's why I
Oh, no,
thought
there
that
is.
that one Julie's request wasn't in here,
Yeah, but it
because
is.
on today's it's not.
Yeah, okay.
So
So we'll,
today's it is, it wasn't on that.
all right, so I need a motion, we're going into executive session, who are we gonna see
Make the
first?
motion.
Well, not Al, because he's making copies.
He's making copies,
So,
and,
Carolyn, Deb?
all right, let's meet with Carolyn first.
Okay.
Okay?
Oh,
Oh,
well then
no, I'm
let's meet
sorry,
Deb
no,
first
I
then.
can't do that.
Then let's meet, hey Deb,
Go.
let's see you first. Carolyn's going to the ladies'
I'm
room.
gonna have to leave
Okay.
potentially if it
What
starts.
time, what
When?
time do you have to?
So,
Oh, it's going to be hours.
Oh, you're leaving for
So,
the executive session?
I may have to actually exit the building if you guys run for a full hour, I won't.
I hope not.
I'll go.
Yeah.
I,
at least.
but I think that we should owe everyone
If you want, you
respect.
can just text me.
At least.
Okay,
Can I do
If
that?
you
Do I
need,
have-
if you need me for some reason,
okay, thank you.
Okay, but when did you say?
Listen,
I'm sorry, I
I
just missed it.
can,
When are you leaving?
I'll be
Seven.
here.
half hour.
He's coming up.
He's gonna have to wait a few minutes till we get through this.
He's coming, Lucia.
Marcel's coming, he wants to go into executive session, but
Oh,
we gotta deal with this one first.
Yeah, and
Let's
we
wait
were
for
planning on
Lucia
this.
That
to
will
get back.
require an executive session.
It won't?
It will.
It will, okay, well, fine, we'll deal with that. We gotta deal with one, because that's what we went out for.
Right, let me,
Was executive session for the,
get that. All right.
so,
want you to get your stuff.
All right, so out at 7:10. Okay.
is Alex coming back?
He is, he was getting a, I don't know, I think he's going to the bathroom or something.
Okay,
Oh my gosh, this is.
so we can talk about him while he's gone.
Yeah,
Hey,
absolutely.
Marcel. We'll be in just a few minutes. We're just dealing with delinquent tax collector right now.
With income tax?
Delinquent tax.
Delinquent tax.
Delinquent
That's
tax,
kind of like income tax.
yeah.
Not really.
Okay, so we're back online.
Yep.
So we came out of executive session. We have discussed it at great length, and I need a motion.
I make a motion that, pardon?
You want me?
No,
Okay.
I'm fine.
Okay.
I make a motion that with their acceptance, we offer a position, an appointed position for until March.
Until town meeting.
Yes, town
Okay.
meeting of $40 an hour plus 2% to Deb Amison.
And clarifying that up until today, whatever she
Right.
had collected already is at.
Is at
the-
8%. That's
I got it.
going forward.
So a motion's been made
I'd second
and
that.
seconded it.
Okay.
Should we ask Deb before we vote on it?
Well,
Yeah,
it said
If she would
subject
do
to her
that.
acceptance, so if she doesn't
Hold on,
want it.
just a-
Can you legally change the rate?
We're not sure.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
my understanding, that's why I went downstairs the first time, was to ask Lisa, because I had asked her to find out.
We think we can. If we can't, then we can't change it.
Okay, no, it's
Yeah.
just curious because of what
Yes,
I read.
what I
in
understood
there.
was that since we're appointing now, it's appointing, and that's what the RFP was written, as appointing subject to, it says, I think the RFP says, appointment subject to, the, commensurate with what the select board,
Now, do you
want
want
to
to
give her
call
salary.
her the interim, delinquent
Yes.
tax
Sure.
collector?
Yes.
Interim, new title.
So,
And then what we're, just so you understand, what we're also anticipating, doing also is, we don't have a line item not currently for delinquent tax collector, so there will be one now with a theoretical budget based on what we're talking about. And then we want an assistant delinquent tax collector, which, the delinquent tax collector will appoint, I assume we don't have to appoint that. So,
you will hire
the
someone.
likelihood
as a
is it'll be the
tax
person
collector.
who's doing it now, which is Al.
So as someone to help you.
If you
As
need
a-
help
As
with
a
it.
strong arm.
Right, we're just,
Are you talking about now, or, are you talking about now, or?
well, we're talking about in the new budget, so it would be,
As a,
right now for the 3 months, I don't
it
know how
it
that
wouldn't
works.
start till July 1st. In the
I
new
mean, how have
budget.
you been doing it now? Because you've been helping, so how are you, just using it under the assistant treasurer
Yeah.
column?
Yeah, I mean, well, both of us, she's the treasurer, I'm the assistant treasurer, so
Right.
that's how we've been doing it for the last,
So I guess you could probably continue that, but it's only 3 months, and we don't know how much work it's gonna be, I don't know. I mean, we don't have any
Would
people.
would you?
But I thought that might help in the situation, because, Al kind of better telling people, I'm sorry.
So,
I'm not sorry.
This motion that you made, Julie, is Al getting named the assistant? Delinquent?
We-
No, this is,
they were,
This-
I think they were merely suggesting it. They were
all
suggesting
right,
it.
so that's
Oh, yeah, it
not
could be
part-
any, no, we're not
That's
naming.
not
That's
necessarily part of the.
We're saying-
That's not part of the motion, Julie, is it?
That's part of the discussion.
No, we're just saying that
Got it.
our intent is to create another position so that the
So
delinquent
you have
tax
some
collector has
assistance.
assistance when they need it.
Strong
you know-
arm, strong arm.
Yeah,
You can carry the baton.
All right,
Would you be interested in that position if we did it that way? No, I mean, if you aren't, I mean, we
Oh, just tell
understand.
us.
It's all negotiable.
I just don't know how you do it an hourly rate. It's one thing when you're printing statements, but when I'm having a 10-minute conversation, you know, like, I'm adding up all of
I
these
guess that
5-minute
you're
conversations.
you just say, okay, I spent
You
2
track
hours
your
on it
time.
today. I mean,
Yes.
we trust you.
Like,
I mean, Al's been hourly for ages, you write a time sheet.
I mean, you know, or talking
Yeah,
about it and stuff.
yeah, and I mean, I guess, you know, if you were to handle, like, you only did one 15-minute conversation, you would, I mean,
You
generally,
put in
like,
half an hour.
yeah,
Or
exactly.
or like a lawyer would put in
Yeah.
an hour.
Right, but
No, I'm
like,
sorry,
if you
0.1 is
have
6
one
minutes.
3-minute conversation, that's a quarter hour. Like, that's the way any, or, you know.
Point one is 6 minutes. I used to have to do this, it was ages ago in New York, but point one,
But,
6
I
minutes is
mean,
point one.
that's not, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
time
we're
sheets.
not gonna,
No one's auditing it, well, the auditors will. No one's- So,
Alright, I have what I need.
Okay.
Can I think why we move on to a different?
Well, we were gonna vote on it
Okay.
Oh,
to do that or if you would say, I'm not prepared to take that offer, then we would not vote on it at this
what
time.
was the offer? I thought it was,
2% and $40 an hour
okay, interim tax, alright.
as interim tax collector and
And anything you've collected since Kate's
at
death
8%
would be at the
because
8% figure,
nothing was set before
because there
that.
wasn't anything
I have
in
that
writing
in the
before.
We didn't
minutes
appoint
already.
anyone. Now that we're appointing, you have the right to set the salary.
I have,
Only if
If
that
it's
is actually
legal.
correct.
If it's legal. We
Right.
don't know.
Well,
We'll
that's my
verify it. If it is, then that's what we would that's what we would like to do. If it isn't, then we'll
Then we'll backpedal to,
then we'll have to backpedal and come back and talk about it
I
again.
mean, we can make it an alternate motion and say if we don't have the ability to do that, then we.
Let's not go.
Well, I'm just saying, you're gonna have to keep doing it, and we have to still collect, so I would move that if we, to amend that and say that if we don't have the authority, and I'm pretty sure we do, but if we don't have the authority to do it, that we just appoint them at the 8% till the double vote, which does include elected people petitioning, which may or may not mean anything if the town votes.
And we plan on putting an article in the
So that's what
town.
I'm saying.
so this is in case it's not legal,
Correct.
it's not
I'm
legal.
asking Julie to amend the motion to say that if for some reason it's not legal for us, and I believe it is, in the appointment process to set the salary, and I'm pretty sure it is, because I remember seeing it earlier in the week, but I don't have my hands on looking, that we then
I got it.
simply appoint Deb to
I have
continue what
it.
she's doing,
Got it,
replacing Kate
I have
at the 8%.
I have it.
If it is legal, you'll give me something to put with her appointment so no one ever questions it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are you going to second that motion?
I mean, are
She
you accepting
she
the
amended.
amendment?
oh,
She-
yes.
it was-
Accepting the
Accepting the
amendment,
amendment.
accepting the
Yeah.
amendment is technically.
So technically, we should vote on the amendment first.
Oh, I guess that's true. See, your moderator hat's coming back.
I'm sorry. Technically,
No,
we should.
Is there could that percentage be any higher than the 2%?
Well, so for this 3-month period, that's what we thought it made sense as a board.
Because there's work that has to be done that's.
When we come back, my thought was that when we come back to this again in March, at that point, we revisit it all.
What
Like, this is just a
what
small
she's saying though is that there's work on the back end, she has to go backwards and do stuff that hasn't been done, so there's actually extra work.
Right, well, that's the hourly part. Like-
Well, that, you're talking about doing the hourly regardless, right, on top of the 2%?
Yes,
Going
Yes.
forward,
yes.
going for even for someone that you would appoint after March or whatever.
Well, we don't know what that would be, like, maybe at that point we say, oh, it should be 3% or 5%. Like I said, I'm not sure why, Tina, I didn't ask her that. She was
That's
appointed at 3%, and then it was only a year, and then they changed it to 5%, and I was working other stuff and didn't ask her, well, what was the change about? Like, well, you know, because she
But
uses the same.
That's irrelevant what Londonderry did.
Well, it's not, I mean, towns are similar, they have the same sort of process going on, and they're using the same kind of network system that, you know, this automates a good part of it, so.
So you're saying that the Londonderry tax collector gets 5% currently or 3%?
They changed it to 5%, it was 3% when she took the job.
So maybe,
So I'm just trying to find out what the reason for that is, that different towns do different things.
Like every.
Like Jamaica is just hourly.
and I guess, I guess what would make more sense is to see what is their hourly in Jamaica, do you know?
No, but it's public record, so we can find out. And Stratton is just hourly.
Yep, I
So
mean,
what happens if we,
I'm just saying, this is a small interim period of 3 months, and we can readdress it.
if we either up it right now and to make the deal, or if we say, okay, we will renegotiate after town meeting.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, because then we'll have a better idea
That's right.
of what the hours are gonna be and what.
I mean, I understand she said that she's getting into something that's unknown to her at this point, other than,
And basically, all of the work since September has to be done.
it has to be recreated. Mhm.
Well, actually, what we're gonna have to do is, the Board of Abatement, which I just looked, and it is the town clerks, the listers, the
Treasurer.
select board, the treasurer, and something else.
the JPs.
JPs.
Yeah.
So, that board has to get together to deal with the interest
Right.
issue.
I haven't seen anything, I was reading up on that, I have not found anything exactly that says that. Like that's what I was spending my afternoon on, reading on that after Debbie.
I'm not sure what you mean, that says exactly what.
About the interest,
The 1.5%.
because
Well,
I
that's,
did,
I'm just saying, if we want to abate it, we have to have a Board of Abatement meeting and choose to do that.
well, I didn't see in here that it said that we could, like, this is a special circumstance.
This is
Right.
very unusual circumstance.
So, I did not, in reading all of this, and I'm going back through it because I only went through it one time
Yeah.
and highlighted some stuff, I did not see where we can abate that 1.5%. That it said if the voters decided we were charging that, whenever they decided that 100 years ago,
Yeah.
then we would be
Statutory.
charging that. We would collect that.
I would like to read
I,
the motion, please.
well, can I
Make
just,
sure.
I'd just like to answer Beth for a second. I think that the answer to that is because we hadn't put anybody on notice of any of that for the last 2 months. They didn't get statements because of the special circumstances. I don't think, maybe I'm wrong, I don't think we're gonna, if we find out that we can do it through the Board of Abatement and the proper civil, we have a hearing, it's noticed.
Right. Right,
I don't think it's gonna be
No,
questioned.
I'm totally good with that, but I just
I'm all
wanna
good with charging
I
it,
wanna see a law that says we actually have the right to do that.
to release the 1%.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't, we'll often say have to check it to see if
Yes.
it's legal. I think considering the situation we're in, that we have to make an adjustment and not get into.
Well, it seems fair, whether,
It just seems,
it could be.
because they didn't receive timely notice that says, oh, you're delinquent, and here's how much it's gonna be every month. They didn't receive that.
It seems fair to me. On the flip side, it's statutory, not just did we vote on it some 50, 60, 100 years ago, but it's statutory, and, ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna do something that's illegal.
Well, no, I'm saying if we don't
Yeah.
abate it.
Right.
it's
No, I have
statutory.
no problem abating it, I think it's the right thing to do.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
In
I
this
just
case.
wanna make sure we legally can do
Yeah,
that.
okay, we'll have to verify that. So, what do you want,
I want to read,
Okay, you read what the current
so
motion is.
this is what is going in the minute.
Well, for the moment, maybe a minute.
Out of executive session, Isaacs made the motion to appoint Deborah Avison interim town delinquent tax collector at an hourly rate of $40 plus 2%. Seconded by Schwartz, unanimous. If not legal, Schwartz made the motion amending Isaac's motion above to appoint Avison to the position of interim delinquent town treasurer at 8%.
Tax collector.
It's tax collector.
I read tax collector.
And in that motion was also recognizing that for the work she's done to date, it is 8%.
I have that already in
Okay.
another place.
I didn't know that,
Yeah, I do.
but I couldn't
And
imagine.
with the,
Collector at 8%, seconded by Isaac, unanimous, discussion followed. Is that all right with everyone?
so far.
Yes.
Okay,
So,
But we haven't heard it.
we haven't decided on it yet, we just have the motion, and now we're discussing it.
all right,
So-
so we haven't,
so-
okay,
So,
we have a second.
if we, I mean, we can renegotiate it at at the time that it becomes an official job, because right now it's an interim job.
Right, yes.
Would that be accepted?
No,
No? Okay.
no, if I'm gonna do something, I wanna have the reimbursement now, because
Okay,
it, 2% seems very low. I
Okay.
mean, I'm not asking for the 8%, but I would want more than 2.
But it's not just 2%, it's also
$40 plus 2%.
an hour.
$40
yeah.
an hour.
Yeah, hourly rate, that's
Okay.
what I have so far.
Right.
so do we want to go into executive session and negotiate it, or what do we want to do?
I didn't hear from Deb what she has in mind.
She would
just
like,
said,
she would like more.
she didn't say what.
No, well, I don't know that we
That
should
can be done,
negotiate.
that needs to be
Yeah, but
done.
Hold it, hold
I mean,
it.
Why would it need to be done in?
Well, I don't know, I'm
We
just,
just
I'm
need to-
just, I'm just,
Something
Go ahead.
that, I mean, obviously, this has gotten a lot more complicated.
yes, it has.
You know, would it make sense just to run at the 8% for this next 3 months and then change it
Well,
from
that's
there?
in the motion,
No, it's-
I have that.
if it wasn't legal for us to appoint
right, I have that
at a
already.
reduced rate with an hourly fee, which is, likely where the town will end up going, whether it's 2% or I don't know what other percent we're talking about right now.
Because it's just,
Likely, because people don't wanna pay, it doesn't make as much of a difference in the tax rate as you might think.
No, it's not affecting the tax rate.
I mean, it will.
But we have to make it lucrative for the tax collector,
Right.
for the delinquent tax collector.
I
It has to be lucrative.
because we all did apply on the assumption it was 8%.
Mhm.
And,
Well, I think it said, look at the RFP. I'm pretty-
well, it's always been 8%, so whether or not the RFP says that or not, that's,
Well, I mean, that's what the RFP says, but I'm not sure.
so
It's pretty sure.
then changing it on the fly, obviously, is throwing a wrench in all sides of this. And that's why I'm saying maybe the right thing to do is just to run it at 8%, because we still don't even know if it's legal. So hiring someone hinging on maybe this is legal, just run it at 8% for the next 3 months or whatever, and then vote to change it after.
That's in the amended motion.
It's in there amended,
Already.
Alicia. Yes, I think everyone in the room understands that it's in there
Yeah,
that right now it's in there if it's determined that it's not legal for
Right.
us to appoint and
And negotiate the payment.
and make it, the hourly and the smaller percentage.
I'm just
Then
offering
it
my
goes to the
opinion
eight.
on it.
Yeah,
and I have in an earlier,
Yep, you have my 8%.
I will read what I have. Albilza spoke that currently the town treasurer was taking on the temporary role of delinquent tax collector and to receive the 8% to date. The select board agreed.
Perfect. Thank you, Lucia.
You're welcome. That's earlier,
So,
so that
are
is.
we gonna withdraw the motion, or what?
yeah,
what
see,
do
it
you wanna
does, it says at the bottom of this report, just right or wrong, it does say on the RFP for town delinquent tax collector, first of all, the normal phrase, it says we could reject everybody that came in and start over, which we could do. It says, terms of employment and compensation will be set by the select board, and the reason that's in there is because there's a statute that says that. I don't have it in front of me, but I saw it, maybe I'm, hallucinating. 90% sure I saw it.
Okay. All right, so
in the last 2
what do you
weeks.
wanna do?
I mean, Deb, do you have a counter?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, I didn't hear anything.
Do you have? No, it's okay, Deb, don't, we're like used car salesmen right now, you can insult us.
Well, I mean, I did read that on the bottom, but I just assumed it was. And then I was talking to Al that it would be something that both he and I, because he and I work very well together.
Mhm.
But with some offer like that, it doesn't give me any wiggle room to reimburse him for him assisting me.
We were intending to create a
No,
line.
no, right now, we're talking the 3 months.
Okay,
Because we have to
that's
do,
okay.
right, everything that I'm talking about is just about the 3 months.
Right, but nothing that you're talking, the 8% doesn't give you wiggle room to reimburse him for anything either. There is no line for him other than the assistant treasurer line that exists now.
Can't come out of my own
Whatever.
line.
No, your money comes to that, if you were getting the 8%,
If I
that
was
comes through and then
getting
goes through payroll, and then goes
Right.
into your pocket.
Right, and I can't allocate some to him? If I
Not-
Didn't do any,
Well, not currently, I don't know, I don't think that, I think there's less statutory right to do that than for us to appoint somebody at a compensation. I've never seen that.
Okay.
well,
Where they
so,
get,
so
you know,
what,
I mean, we wanna create that, we wanna create an assistant delinquent tax collector line and end a delinquent tax collector line, because there isn't one in the current budget, so there would be that, so that he's there, but otherwise, I don't know, I kinda thought it was gonna come out of the assistant treasurer position that he has now, because Al mentioned that he doesn't even use all of that right now, you know, he's got 16 other jobs that
Beth?
he's working.
So, just a thought, because it's a terrible thing to be put on the spot when you're thinking one thing and the rules suddenly change. But maybe you should let them, Debbie, have time to actually digest it and think about it, go home, sleep on it before
Sure.
it's like a forced issue tonight.
I agree, I think we
I have
could
no problem with
run
that.
out until
Because the
20th.
rules have changed suddenly, like all the way around, like now,
it got
in
much more
3 months,
complicated.
in the back pay, in the going forward of what you guys might wanna do. She may not wanna take the job and get screamed at by these, because they're nasty people.
That's why we want Al.
It is a cruel job, and until you have experienced it,
I've done.
you have no idea.
Yeah, I've done collection
So
work.
should we table it for tonight and wait for Debbie to get back to us?
Oh, we can do that.
Alright, so, out of executive session, no decision was rendered.
There you go, yeah, well,
And I'll take
well,
all the rest of it
well-
out of the minute.
And maybe you, on Saturday, you're all gonna be here.
two Saturdays.
Yeah, so maybe then, if not before, you have a special meeting to conclude this.
The problem is, it's a special meeting for budgeting, unless we warn it as a meeting.
Well, that's the
Two.
16th.
Well, you have plenty
Right.
of time to do. to
I assume we would have to warn it,
Well, special meeting is 24 hours.
okay. So we could
Emergency
either, we could
meeting is
either,
not,
have-
we could call it an emergency,
we
meet
could
tomorrow.
have a special meeting tomorrow
Wow.
or the day after, if you come back and we talk about it a little bit and go from there.
Well, it would be, Deb would have to say, I'm ready to, what, talk
Negotiate.
about
And I
it?
don't need to speak on your behalf.
No, thank you, because
No, it's, I understand, I mean, this got way more complicated than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, 'cause we were all under, I think everybody was under the impression it was gonna be 8%.
Well, that is in there as an amended,
So I remember that.
Yeah, I guess
an
what's,
amended motion.
what
What's
it
your
is.
motion?
Pardon?
Yeah,
That
this is
got
about
approved.
this. I'm not sure what the.
Oh, so you missed the first part of this, when,
Hold on, I mean, you have it.
you missed the first part when a constituent came in and reminded us, and I've been reminded by a number of people in town this week and last week, that back when you were there, back when you might even been the moderator, back when we voted for health coverage for the treasurer and the clerk, nothing to do with the delinquent tax collector really,
Right.
but at that time, a lot of people looked at the money that people were making in town already. And specifically looked at the delinquent taxes, and that year, if I recall, and I'm pretty sure I recall, that it was like $86,000 that Kate pulled in. And we had a series of people come by, and Tim came in tonight, he's on film, and said, look, I don't want to cause trouble, I love everybody in town, this is what he said, basically. I love everybody, I don't want to ruin my relationships with anyone, I don't either, this is not fun, but from a standpoint, so what we said to Tim at that time was, we're not gonna mess around with Kate. she's been here for, you know, what, 40, 50 years doing this? I mean, more before that in other
So,
positions?
Rick, I'm not
So
sure
we
where
said
you're
at that, so at that
I
time, we
can
said,
read what the minutes
at that,
say.
at that time, I'm sorry, I didn't explain. Tim was saying that he had come to us, and other people came to us when that came up and the salaries were visible. You know, they always had been, but people were looking. He said, why is the town not getting this 8%? A lot of towns, many towns, are appointed, not elected. And when you're appointed, there's various levels you can get. I checked various delinquent tax collectors
Right, I get that
in different
part.
towns. Some get 1%, some get 3%, some went from 3 to 5%, some are just hourly and get paid hourly as every, you know, the whole thing is just,
So, it's too much information.
well, that's what we're working with.
You
You
had
want me to-
you had a delinquent tax collector before Kate passed. And
She
her
was.
deal she was collecting the taxes and getting 8%.
That's
And
right.
I
And
don't know what she was doing, if anything, with the salary, probably nothing.
she didn't get a salary. It wasn't salary in that
This is
position.
not a salary
You're now sitting
position.
here and you're appointing someone to fill her term.
Right.
So why should the term, why should
Different.
the details of the money be different for who you're appointing than it was for the person that was elected?
Because
Pretty
what
simple.
we said at the time, when people came and brought this up,
That
was,
was 20 years ago.
and people remember it, and they said, when Kate dies, that's what we said. I mean,
Well, she
sounds a
didn't-
little
she didn't-
crass.
She didn't, you know, it wasn't,
She did die,
she still has a term.
that's
Term is
right.
unfilled.
She does, and that's why we phrased it, or what we were looking to do was to, and I believe it's right, we'd have to find it, but I'm pretty sure it's right, that when we do the appointment, we can address that concern of the constituents that have said for years, 20 years ago, said, hey, why are we doing it this way? So start now. Yes, we could wait until March to do it.
The whole point is you're taking someone and filling a vacancy that was created by someone passing away. Why that all of a sudden opens the door to changing the term?
Because
Makes
it-
no sense.
Because unless we're mistaken,
Because there's
it
gonna be
allows
a
us,
line item on,
it allows us to do
Wow.
that. It allows us to appoint and salary as opposed to keep the elected 8%, and that's what we were told.
But only for 3 months.
Well, and then it's up to the, and then
It's
it's
up
up to
to
the
the
town
voters.
to vote, right, and we have to do that dual process where we have to have people running for the office.
Yeah, but don't worry about that. because
Well,
that's like
it's just,
months away.
I just try to get the whole picture, it's okay.
But Marcel's right, let's think about tonight, and
Right.
that's why I had said the same thing, and just leave it at the 8% for tonight and just. 'Cause
Wow.
you accepted the 8%, correct?
So if you, yeah. That's what I have when Tim came, and then I have that in your amended motion.
Right, I thought that was a fair way to deal with it. If it's not, if we're not allowed to do it, fine, if we are, then let's reach
So,
an agreement.
what do you want to do? Give me some guidance.
I think that we need to, I think we need to come back to this. We need to give Deb time to think.
Sure, and let's look up and find the statutes and see if we can or can't do it, or get a ruling from whoever you wanna get a ruling from, the election board or whatever it
And,
is.
I am
No,
not
so
going,
I mean, no offense, but it's really not my job to do that.
Well, no,
The
but you're doing it
administrator
anyway.
does that. Well, I do my own paperwork, but it's not my job to do that.
No,
so, with your permission, I will eliminate all the motions out of the executive session and say no decisions were made.
Great.
Period.
I guess
So
not.
none of it, your discussion is in there.
Earlier.
Yeah, earlier. Tim's is in
So-
there earlier.
Do you wanna make the motion, we eliminate that at this time,
Eliminate what?
that motion?
Oh, eliminate the motion, that's what.
That's why I just
Yeah,
said,
but
taking it,
yeah, I mean,
no decisions were.
And we'll just wait, and we'll revisit it
Yeah.
at either a special meeting
I'm
or
not
something.
even gonna.
I mean, I don't know what we're talking about.
No decision
but
was
we're-
made.
Or do we wanna just leave it at the 8% until town meeting time?
correct.
I
Yeah,
mean, cause she could,
yeah.
cause I mean, you would start doing that immediately, right? You would start
What you have?
the paperwork.
So
well,
it
no.
has, I think.
I mean,
Yes.
she would, you have
So-
to go back and start doing, you know, the
So,
backlog of stuff.
it's the way it was
Yeah, there's no
up
penalties
until
for anything
3
for
weeks ago when Kate
2004.
died.
2024, there's
It's
no
that,
penalties.
it was that system. I mean,
Well, and you asked her whether she had a counteroffer, and she made you one, so,
She did? I didn't hear it.
yeah, you're back at 8%.
Right.
I heard it.
Oh, that was the counteroffer? I thought Al said, would you be willing to do it at 8%? She said, sure, but she didn't, that wasn't
There
her.
you go, what's sure mean? Doesn't mean no.
It doesn't mean she wouldn't do it at a reasonable percent either, Marcel. I'm glad you want to get to your philosophy
Well, it's not
stuff that
that.
we got going here, but come on, we're working on this first. We've been working on this since Kate died.
Okay, so what do you
I
want to
just
do?
want you, I just have one last thing, I just wanna make sure that whatever we do, going forward for the 3 months, that you guys have it in writing from some authority that what you're gonna do is legal, because it's unprecedented.
Well,
There's
I-
nothing in writing
I think it's
anywhere.
perfectly legal that we go with the same arrangement. I think if we change it, then there's some question about it.
And I wanna see something from Will Senning, who is the head guy of elections. Because he is the ultimate decision of legal, not VLCT. They're over there as a bonus for you, but they are not elections. Anything to do with elections, appointments, any of that.
Well, everything they've sent me so
That
far is
comes-
they just sent me the statutes.
Yes, but that,
And then
but
I don't
Will
need
will
anything.
put something in writing, if it's unprecedented, he will tell you this is what you need to do.
Right, who is it? I don't know.
Will Senning,
Right, that's who you reached out to today, right?
that is who I reached out to
Right,
today.
so that's
With
what I
My
mean.
own questions.
Right.
Not your questions.
So what do you
Yours
want
are
to do?
different than
Wanna just
mine.
roll it
It wasn't
into
questions
town meeting
about
time, the same way it is? We gotta do something, we can't hold off on this for another month or two.
I mean, regardless, if she's working as the interim delinquent tax collector, she's making the 8% now. That's what we know.
Right. Well, we were thinking it was gonna transition tonight, but apparently it's
Well,
not.
we can, do that in the motion, and then, until town meeting day, I can add that in the motion, if you would like.
I think that we should just, at this point,
Yeah,
keep it at the 8% until such time the voters of the town of Winhall make the change.
Is that a motion?
Yes.
Okay, we're getting somewhere.
To appointed
Okay,
town clerk.
no.
I mean, not town clerk, town delinquent.
Don't try to replace me.
I'm not,
We're just.
brain,
Yeah.
I've been up since.
Okay.
I have a puppy.
So the motion,
Dogs.
the motion was made,
Yep,
and I'll second it, that we go with the same rate until
Okay.
town meeting.
okay.
That we appoint
This is
Debbie
out.
Avison tonight as the interim delinquent tax collector.
I
You made
have
the
it.
motion, I'll second it. Is there any more discussion?
I have it.
All in favor, say aye.
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 You're in at the 8%.
Does she need to be sworn in for that? And you'll take care of that?
Yeah, the other thing you guys should follow up with is to, I don't know how, we're bonded if it's by name, but if it is by name, obviously you'll have to change, because she'll have to be bonded as treasurer and delinquent tax collector.
Okay.
And
And that'll be your deal, because you're the one.
No, that's Lissa that has to do that.
Oh, really?
That's a
Okay.
town, yes, that has to be, that's through our insurance company, which
Okay.
is not Debbie's job.
Okay.
So Bill had made something about it being a reasonable, when he was talking about percentage, he said about being reasonable, and I want people to know that there is a lot of work that has to be done that I don't get the 8% on. So I want you to understand that, because when Kate.
Well, and you only get 8% on whatever you actually collect in the next 3 months, but I mean, a lot of these people on this list, from what I'm seeing, you know, a lot of these are, quite a number of these appear to me to be the like Airbnbs, and for some reason they
Right.
missed it. They make this much money on a weekend, so they certainly should be able to like.
No,
probably-
that's not the
that's
point.
not what I'm
That's-
My point is,
That's not her point.
She's talking about the backlog of stuff that hasn't. been
Right,
done.
I'm just
Right.
saying that, you know, whether you call it hourly or you take the 8%, that 8% is gonna cover a lot of the time involved, more than an hourly rate will, but, you know, we voted for it already, so.
So then as Al is her assistant, he'll use the assistant treasurer money to cover whatever he does to help her?
I guess
Or
that's
to
up
be
to her.
clear-
What's
To be
happening
clear in the
now?
minutes, just so, I mean, I don't know if that's what's
I
happening.
have not put that in the minutes.
No.
Let me read what I have out of executive session. Isaacs made a motion to appoint Deborah Avison interim town delinquent tax collector at the current rate of 8%. Seconded by Coleman, unanimous. That is what I have.
Okay.
Is that good with everybody?
Yep.
So that will be official when this check.
Right, so I guess the question would be, if Kate had an assistant, how was that
She didn't have
assistant?
an
She
assistant.
She didn't have
She
one.
didn't have an assistant.
We always helped out. If they
Of course
called,
you did.
we always just did it.
Mhm.
Which is why you're in this pickle now, because if you had an assistant,
Then the
that
assistant would have
person
taken
more than
over.
likely would have been the delinquent tax collector.
Yeah, I mean, cause it, like I had said, I mean, I've been, in years past, I mean, both of us have fielded calls, and then now, obviously, Debbie being here, she's been fielding calls, we've just done it just because we're in the office and people, you know,
You've been helpful and you've been trying to give them answers to the best of your ability.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Because we work for them, really.
Yep, no, that's, I understand. Okay,
So, yeah, I just wanna make sure that you feel comfortable, because knowing, I know that you wanted a lower percentage, but knowing that the work that I have to do, there isn't a percentage that I'm gonna get.
Because that's going to Kate.
Going to Kate.
up until her time of death, up until her
Yeah,
time of
until-
death.
until time of
She's-
death. You're
her
getting the
estate-
8% from the time you started, like you've already made deposits or things since she's passed, or you haven't done anything since she passed?
No, I didn't, I haven't.
Oh, I thought stuff has come in,
It has.
but it all was
didn't-
while she was alive.
Yes,
Huh.
yes, no, I
Yeah,
understand.
that all
and
goes, that all has to get tracked too, because that goes to her estate, as
Right.
it said.
Right,
Yeah.
I'm just saying that I'm gonna do that work too, so I
Right.
wanna make sure that you feel comfortable
Oh,
with
that's
the
fine.
8% because of that.
It's okay, let's move on, okay? Thank you,
All right.
all right. Okay, I think we put that to bed for tonight. All right,
Congratulations.
yeah,
Good
yeah, I'm not sure she, all right, so, Marcel, what do you got going? Did you wanna go into executive session?
I did, yeah.
Oh, boy.
You didn't get his email.
No.
I have a copy of what I sent.
Okay, thanks, Deb.
Debbie, your pen.
Okay, we're going into executive section at 7:45 to deal with zoning board.
Well, it's
No, not really.
short-term rental administrator.
Okay,
All right.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
we're live.
We're live, okay, we came out of executive session, no decision made, we were talking about short-term rental procedures, and,
Personnel.
there was no decision made.
Okay. So was it discussion contractual?
No.
No, it was a discussion of personnel matters related to
Personnel.
short-term rentals.
Okay.
Okay, so budgeting, we're gonna be working on the 16th.
Yeah, I
There's
do
no
not
point
believe
in
we're
fooling
doing
with that.
anything.
Benson Fuller intersection, nothing happening. Wastewater, affordable housing, nothing. Short-term rentals, we talked about some of that, but that was in executive session.
It's in the works, so.
New business, we have some access and right-of-way permits.
Okay.
We have one for Steve Liberty,
I will bury it out.
and that is on Twin Farms, number 2.
Yep.
Oh, that's on the
Has it been
permit.
reviewed by Trevor? He's not here? Do you need a pen?
Highway foreman is Trevor, has inspected,
There's a pen.
and it says an 18-inch culvert needed.
Okay. You do it if you want to.
I make a motion to Twin Farms, the Liberté.
Liberty.
Liberty.
Liberté.
Where's Twin Farms?
Liberty.
Stephen
Off
and
of French
Brenda
Hollow.
Liberty.
Okay, all right, and
Access permit.
Yeah.
for an 18-inch culvert, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
then we have an access right-of-way permit for Seth Myers, 18 Windtree Road.
Oh, huh.
Now, that one is underground power, so he's actually gonna be going under
The road?
Stratton's
Road
Road.
cross
Oh, Stratton's
permit.
Road. So we
That's
we
Greenfield
authorize-
Road?
So this is
Working the right of way. We
48 inches below the road,
Was there right?
or 24 inches
Doesn't matter.
below the ditch. If depth is not met, we'll need to pave and concrete. And this has been,
Well, Trevor checked it out. and that's
Trevor
his
has signed it, so this is all
So
in
I move-
favor
oh,
of accepting
Well, I
Myers.
move to accept, to authorize the underground power
Yeah,
under the road on
Second.
West Ridge.
all in
was it?
favor, all in favor,
Windtree.
say aye.
Windtree.
Winter Road.
I get those
Oh,
confused.
that's up on
Windtree,
Stratton.
18
Oh
Windtree, yeah.
boy, I don't know how to say this one. Chris Kazagurihi.
Casaraghi.
Yeah, up
Casaraghi.
on Rose
Chris
Ridge.
Casaraghi.
Yeah, we know what
Okay.
it is.
Okay,
Everybody
and this has been looked at by Trevor. It is 48-inch under surface,
Culvert.
24-inch bottom of ditch, will need to be paved and
Well, he's up
concrete
in
if
like
depth.
Rogues Ridge kind of thing, right?
Yeah, he's up. Rose
So
Ridge.
this is
Rose
also a under access permit.
Correct.
So motion to authorize the under road access permit.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Casaraghi.
Okay, there's those.
Okay, Casaraghi.
And I'll happily take those when you guys are done with them.
We will happily give them to you.
So we have minutes from November 1st.
I make a motion, we approve the minutes from November 1st.
Second,
All in favor, say aye.
alright.
Those opposed? We have the minutes from November 15th.
What's this? Oh, that's for you.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm not sure I can find enough people to sign it.
Beth will find it for
No, she might not.
Who will sign your petition?
you.
I'll sign your petition.
Okay, so minutes for November 15th.
I make a motion, we approve minutes from November.
All in
Second.
favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. We have bills.
Those minutes, those go to you too, right, the minutes?
No.
Or they go to Lisa first?
They go to Lisa
Lisa
first.
first? Cause don't you record it, copy, don't you?
Yes.
Al files them. That's his job.
Can't get, God, I got it open. I
Yeah.
have to get my knife out.
Oh geez, no, you can't be cutting that.
This
Been
is-
around longer than I have.
Holy moly.
No, it's not big. Looks like one of them is gigantic by itself.
One
Probably
of
that
them is a-
AT&T bill.
Yeah, a phone bill.
Now, which way are they going from here?
Clockwise.
Clockwise? Now, is that analog or digital?
No, analog.
No one knows.
MVP,
No one knows
oh my
analog
God.
anymore.
Yes, they do.
Supposedly,
Yeah,
they
that's
aren't even
script
teaching that in
either.
school now.
Not script. Yeah, they can't read clocks on the walls. No one to teaches cursive anymore, I didn't know that till the other day, I don't know what.
They say the way to screw some people up now is to write them a letter in cursive and see if they can read
It's like a
it.
secret language apparently.
They won't be able to read the land records for this.
Oh, I know, but some of them pretty hard to read anyways.
Pretty hard.
Some of them had some pretty,
You mean the old
Nice.
ones where it was all written out in script?
Yeah, you gotta really focus when you're.
Oh, yeah.
It's difficult.
some of them had amazing penmanship. I like the one that Mona got. I like the one that Mona had for
That
winning the
check?
prize. That was,
That was beautiful.
yes, it was.
Your papers are downstairs, Marcel.
Yeah, that's what, I didn't know where I'd left them. I
Yep,
left them on
there.
your counter.
Yep, they're right on the sill.
See you, Marcel.
Yeah.
Did you get that Excel spreadsheet?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, it's kinda cool.
Yeah, no, yeah, I've
I
already
mean, it's got
doctored it up a little bit.
all these towns.
Yeah.
like-
So where did Dennis put in a new vinyl window? Doesn't say. Okay to pay.
Was it at the community
It
center?
was either gonna be the community center or the transfer station, because he doesn't work a lot unless Scott gets him out there, right?
Library?
Why does
Oh,
this
you know,
need-
the window
Hey, Stuart,
in the
this
transfer
needs-
station office is now going up, so I bet you that's the one.
Who's supposed to sign this? You were supposed to sign this. This is written up for
You know,
you,
like it
someone
would
owes
go
you
up.
money.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
I think you have to
I
sign it.
would have been told about it, that I had to sign it, but.
Well, it's your report, I think.
Yeah,
right?
well, the thing is, I had to pay for the fire truck to
Right.
get it out of the dealership. Because they said we have to submit a credit application in order to get a account with them. And
Well, I
said,
don't know
"Well,
who
I haven't
did-
got time for that."
So Lisa wrote this up for you?
No, I gave a copy of the bill
You too?
I put it in her
Right,
box.
so she wrote this up.
Yeah,
The reimbursement form.
It does have a place for a date, I don't know, was there,
I'm
oh,
handing
I'll write the date
these
of
to
the
you.
thing, right? 11/13/23. Sure, so we don't need this.
Saving those, that's
Should
what's,
save those, I'm
That's
almost
what I'm
out.
saying.
yeah, that's what's
Pass
gonna
it-
save our
Pass
budget.
that down to Al.
I always save them.
That's why I pulled it. Hey, I got you.
I know, I'm cheap.
boy, we have
You
to send
go.
quite a
I
bit to
got
the
your
Mount
back,
Lady cities and
baby.
towns
I
for
got you.
insurance.
I told Stuart if I don't show up for a few days, you know, you're not gonna find me. Cause Beth's got
Come
back
on.
up with a lot of land.
Yeah. No, you're not on my list, Bill.
Okay, I wasn't sure after tonight.
It would be nice if the federal government told us how much we owe on the building still.
I know, what is going on with that? Cause
Well,
it's like,
a 20-year thing, right?
I think it's, I think it goes into like 52 or something.
Really?
A long time.
and it's 50 grand a year.
40 grand.
No,
I'm sorry, what, this is 40 grand a year?
no,
Yes.
it's, look at the,
It's USDA.
What? What are you looking at?
we're pretty fortunate, I went to, it's, where
Am I
is it?
giving this to you?
No, not yet, I'm not
You
done.
do get that little
Oh, she
interest
gave this to
kickback.
A Mountain Dew.
Well, I am giving it to you.
Oh.
Take this though.
Is that why it looks?
This is $40,500.
What are you looking at? I thought you just gave me
Rural
this.
development,
Those
purpose
are
alone,
yours.
build,
So what are
public
you-
building
Oh, that's
improvement
something
fund.
different.
Yeah.
40,000.
This is the budget.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
the
I'm
town
not doing
hall
that.
debt of service.
Thank you, I'm not watching the budget, I'm checking bills.
Oh, it went down. Oh,
So how much is in the
it was,
report?
so 21,
Oh, it's not the budget, you're
22.
looking at what we just got from a debt, is that what you're saying?
No, this, I'm looking at
From
what the
USDA.
budget, from the town hall debt
Okay.
service.
Yeah, how much is it?
I'll focus on that.
Well, it's budgeted 50,000, but it looks like it goes down because 21, 22 was 47,800.
Okay, it's down to $40,500 now.
Well, and then, oh, okay, so we can lower this amount.
I
Yeah,
think we ought to
save-
leave it the
save it for
same
the
and
16.
prepay it. I wonder if we can prepay
I
it.
don't know if you can do that. Like, there's a whole schedule of payments going all the way out to the end.
Yeah, and so, looking at the budget that Lisa had printed off for you guys earlier that I made copies of.
Yeah.
Budget 21-22 was budgeted at 55,000, whereas the
Yeah.
actual was 47,807.80. And then
Of what,
Budget.
actual what?
Oh,
this
this
was
was
the
the big
town
one.
hall debt service, the USDA.
Oh, yeah.
And then, yeah, so then budget for 22-23 was 50 grand, whereas we actually paid 42,560.21. So
And it's down to 40,500 right now. So it should be 40,000 next year.
Because your principal's down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's what happened, when we started, it was 50, and it's been dropping.
Well,
We've had
that's-
it for a long time.
That's good news, it's going
Had it
down.
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, ever
Well,
since
it
we
was
got the
10,
building.
it was 10 years when I had to do that audit with the IRS guy. And thank God for Dennis. Thank God for
There
Dennis
are-
and his files.
Yeah.
There are no changes on the Casella bill.
Scott hasn't had a chance to look at it then.
No, he did. There's nothing crossed off.
We finally got them straightened out.
That made me a first. That's pretty impressive. He always checks through those.
Here you go. All right, we're basically finishing up now, we're just doing bills.
I have one last
Oh,
thing.
okay, wait a minute, I guess we're not
We're
finishing.
not.
So, I was going through the town report of appointed and elected and fixing the errors that were in there for the terms,
Oh, yeah,
making sure
they
they
were.
were all correct.
Right.
Okay,
So I have that, I have put in for the new energy committee, they, act as one board, they don't have a chair.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh,
I've
no.
listed the
But-
3 of them in there, and I think they all should be listed individually.
okay.
They chose not to have a chair, they just wanna
Oh,
act as a
I
board.
thought Mike was the chair.
No,
Okay,
no, I just verified that with Andrea, she was just here.
okay.
The other, thing was the museum curator is vacant, and I was
I'm sorry,
hoping,
did we put in a term for that?
it
Then
should
no
be,
term, we
it should be,
appointed
yeah, but it should be yearly, you appoint everybody.
Yearly? Oh, you're
Yeah.
saying after the town meeting, when we appoint everyone, they should be one of those
Most of them run
appointments?
to the end of, June, they start July 1st.
Right, but we appoint it
Yeah,
after our March meeting.
Yeah.
We meet shortly after and then put
Yeah.
everybody on.
Um,
So you put them in as something, okay.
yeah.
It's just a committee, but okay, it works.
Well, they're doing the work, and
Okay.
it has energy
Well, it's good
coordinator
to be-
there, and it said vacant, and it's really not now.
No, and it's good to put it in there, cause maybe someone get the idea they wanna be on it
Right,
or something.
Right, the other one that was vacant was the museum curator, and I would like to take that position since I already pretty much take care of all the.
You do, it's
Stop.
amazing.
I
all
thought we
the
already
credit.
appointed you to
I
that.
thought we did
No,
too.
you
You can
appointed
take
me
all the
for
credit.
cemeteries.
You know that?
Are you sure? Cause I could have sworn we appointed you the museum, something with the museum.
No.
You can take all the credit.
Okay, great. Okay, great, thanks a lot, I was looking for a new title, something more
I
relaxed.
know, you're running out of clerk titles, you said, there's only like one more to get.
I just put in for my master municipal
See,
clerk
that's it.
internationally, and there's one level above that. That's about 800 hours of education and service I had to have. Yeah, oh yeah, it was a lot.
Okay.
And then I have 3 more levels at the state level,
Yeah, there's actually a lot at the state level.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think we
All right.
we should.
Is
So that's all I have.
Okay, we're just finishing bills, so we're pretty much done. We're
We
probably
could just get behind Beth for governor and have her clean
No
all
way.
this shit up.
No, I can't do the no, let's do the politics.
Yeah, I long ago from being in this, I'm like, this is as far as I'm going.
I'm good.